Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 third annual JoyClicks Awards. My name is Christian Buckley. Joining me for this ceremony, beneath me on screen, we have Jack Martin. How are you?
Hello, Happy New Year, everyone. Very glad to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here because we don't know the results except for Christian. So, very interested.
Also joining us, Omar Nakvi. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Happy New Year. I'm also very excited to see what's up.
Yes. So, what's up tonight is for the next hour, we're going to be going through a recap of several categories, including the top 10 games of the year as voted by the four of us, fourth being Kevin Diaz. Unfortunately, scheduling did not work out for him. His votes are tallied. He's here in spirit. I would love to see his reaction to one specific thing, but we'll just have to wait on that. But what we're doing today is the third time we've done Joy Clicks Awards. The first year we did this, it was me, Kevin, and Jack, and we did deliberations. We had categories. We were like, let's gonna live do nominees, gonna narrow this down to 10 or 5, depending on the category, and then decide a winner. Last year was different. Last year was just me and Kevin. We did a Gamescast episode, just figuring out 10 games. This year, keeping in tradition, there's no tradition, we did a survey. So, how the survey worked out is we drafted up a bunch of categories over the past couple months. There are, I think, 6 or 7 categories total, plus game of the year. How this worked out is everybody was able to submit nominees over several months, narrowed those down, put them in a survey. Every vote is weighted so that for game of the year, our first place vote is worth 10 points, second place is 9 points, third is 8, down to 10 being 1. Same thing worked out for our category awards, which I'll have one winner and one runner up. The same system worked out where we picked 3. One was, I think, 10, 9, 8, or something like that. It was weighted points. I did all the math, I took care of it all. I did make sure I submitted mine first so I could not alter anything. I cannot be swayed by anything. Made it very clear I wanted to do that since I was the one handling the math. And there's some interesting awards that are being handed out tonight. Interesting winners. And that is what we're going to see as we begin this here ceremony. Are we prepared, gentlemen?
Hell
Very
yeah.
prepared.
Okay.
Very prepared.
And the read through is gonna be casual. If there's a category we want to talk about for a bit, we can. We can just vibe it out. There is a fun little bonus category thing at the end we can wrap up with. But first category, first award, best boss fight. This is for the most exhilarating, controller squeezing, heart pounding test of skill we played in a game this year. The votes were tallied. The best boss fight of 2022 is Nidhogg from God of War Ragnarok, the runner-up Millennia Blade of Mikola from Elden Ring. We may now discuss. Who voted for Nidhogg?
I did not.
Really?
In fact, I don't know what it is, so you guys will have to explain it to me.
The Nidhogg?
Oh,
Isn't
sorry. This is from God of War. My apologies.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I did. This was up there for me, as well as the other
I
God
was
of
gonna be
War
like, what the fuck happened?
boss fight. I was like, I got Elden Ring on the brain, and I was like, what is this big fucking Elden Ring boss? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is one of the more consequential boss fights of the year. Clearly, yeah, this one's great. Did you guys play God of War? I know you did,
Yeah.
Christian.
I did not.
Okay,
This boss fight's cool. I like the portals and shit. Kind of.
yeah, it's the context of this without spoiling it is also really interesting, like who you're fighting with in this boss fight. But yeah, also the way you have to team up with your partner in this. The portals, like you mentioned, Omar, is really cool. And also, I think Nidhogg here is like the defender of the Yggdrasil tree. I believe. Like that's like you're trying to mess with the tree a little bit, and it comes out and is like trying to defend it. So that's why you have to fight it. It's really cool. It's not an Elden Ring boss fight.
Speaking of Elden Ring boss fights, Omar, did you have anything to add for Nidhogg?
For Nidhogg,
Yeah, for the winner.
I think, you know, look, we wouldn't have had Nidhogg on this list if I didn't put him on the fucking list. And maybe maybe I'm a problem. I don't know. Nidhogg is the best boss fight in that game. It is pretty cool. But that runner up though, that Melania.
That runner-up.
Uh
Jack, would you like to hear about Millennia?
Yeah, please tell me about this.
Also, Owen, shout out. What's up? Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year, Owen.
And people watching along in the chat, throw in your winners for the categories as we go. We'll shout them out. But yeah, Millennia is the Elden Ring boss that was my wall outside of the first one. The first one's really difficult. It's their hardest first boss, I think, in the games I've played from them. But Millennia is optional. She's late game. And she's built like a Sekiro boss in that she's ridiculously fast. She can life steal if she hits you. So she does massive damage to you and heals her own health if you get attacked by her. There's two phases. In the second phase, she basically turns into a tactical nuke. The lore behind her, she is a tactical nuke. And she bombed an entire area of the map for like petty reasons, which is very cool. And the thing that's I think brilliant about her is she's the main, even though optional, main trophy boss, because you do get a trophy for beating her, that feels the most out of place in this game with how their bosses work. Where if she was in Sekiro, I could beat her no problem. But she took me like 85 attempts. I'm not joking. It was like a 5-hour session. I felt so good after I beat her. The clip is on my Twitter, but she is probably their like most. People say that she's the best boss that From Software has done. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I think she's like top 3 for me from what I've played. I don't know how Omar feels.
I think she's awesome. I think the design's really great, and I think the way they introduce her, she has a really awesome cutscene, which is a big part of memorable From Software boss fights to me. Yeah, and she was hard, which is like a lot of From Software bosses, I guess. But I beat her, and it felt good. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's really like I don't know if she's one of my favorite ones. In the we Elden Ring has a lot of good boss fights, to be honest. I don't want to ramble about this too much, but like in the Google Docs we had, and this is my fault. I think I added like 10 boss fights from that game. Maybe we probably had a total of, like 15.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, she's really great, but I still love like Verdun and all that stuff.
So,
but I think it's fair to say none of them were as good as the Nidhogg.
Apparently not. You know.
Now Nidhogg, that was a fight.
So congratulations, Nidhogg, runner-up, Millennia, Blade of Mikola. Category 2. I gotta make sure I'm clicked on the tab. Best multiplayer game. Omar, read off this category if you would.
For the most fun, competitive, or cooperative experience we had in a game this year, which made the game that much better.
And the winner is.
Let's fucking go. Yo,
Nice,
Fortnite Zero
dude.
build. This game's awesome. They made Fortnite good.
They did. I wasted so much time in Fortnite when it was just for the vibes and like hanging out with friends, you know? It's like I kept in touch with home friends in Fortnite throughout college. It's like, hey, it's too late for me to go anywhere. I'm just going to hop on Fortnite, play until like 3 a.m. and then wake up at 9 for a class. But Fortnite this year, Zero Build was introduced this year, which is wild to think about because that feels like what the game has been for the past 3 years now.
Yeah.
It's been so influential, so impactful. Jack, I know you also had like the Fortnite craze for a spell back in college when everybody had it. Have you messed with Zero Build at all yet? Because that erases kids building Eiffel Towers and skyscrapers around you when you walk up with a shotgun.
Yes, I admittedly do not play too much Fortnite these days. I think this was my #1 vote for this category, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, I when I played it maybe a few matches this year of Zero Build, and it was one of those things where anytime I wanted to get back into Fortnite and I would try to play a match, everyone was just outclassing me, not in terms of the shooting, but in terms of the building and the mechanics around that and trying to like defend against it, which is just impossible if you haven't played the game consistently since like the beginning, really. So zero build is just a great way to get back into the game. It's way more casual. I think it's a lot more fun. And it's kind of the Fortnite I would want to play if I played it consistently. So very well deserved here.
Mm-hmm. Omar and I had a few good sessions this year of Fortnite.
Yeah, we should play more.
We should.
Yeah, you too. Let's do it.
I know Mike's been curious too. He sees those Star Wars skins. He's like, I want to get it. I want to get that.
Yeah.
I'm tempted.
Yeah.
Bro, the next time Paula trades in the fucking shop, I'll text him.
Dragon Ball got added to Fortnite this year. That was huge.
That summer, man, was awesome.
Yeah.
That vibe season they did.
That was good.
Yeah, I was going crazy.
Because if you recall, the season before that was like Invasion War. That's when the war in Ukraine started, and then the follow-up season was just vibes, which was like a good pivot.
Wow.
I don't know if they planned that, but yeah, that was a really good time. I remember I brought my Switch. I downloaded Fortnite again on my Switch because I knew I was going to be in New York when Dragon Ball was rumored to be dropping. I was like, I need to get it. I need to get Vegeta, and I did because I have an issue. But Fortnite's an incredible game, best multiplayer. Congratulations. Runner-up though. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. My favorite multiplayer thing I did this year was beat that game with my brother on a couch in one sitting. That was an incredible 2 hours that I will remember for the rest of my life. So,
can you guys give me 2 minutes so I can bring something upstairs really quick for Turtles?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell me about that, Christian. So, who were you playing as? Who was your brother playing as?
So, bit of a basic answer because listen, when I was a kid, I was the older brother, so I did play Mario. I did play whoever the player one usually is. My favorite Ninja Turtle is Leonardo. Leonardo leads. I know it's boring. I know people are like, I love Donnie, but Leo's the best. Leo's the leader for a reason. I played Leo. My brother played, I think he played Donatello. Not to throw shade at him, but I think he played Donatello. Because he always liked Donatello. And I did find, after we finished it, I ran up in the attic and I found, because I was a huge Turtles kid, like the 2003 show. I love the 90s movie with the puppet suits. I never watched the cartoon that this game was based off of, and I never played those old games, but it was still like, they got the Wu-Tang Clan rapping about turtles in the final boss, and it's an incredible experience. It was so good.
That fucking final boss, even get to talk about it with that boss thing, but with the Lady Liberty, that was sick.
Lady Liberty into Super Shredder.
Yeah.
And then the Wu-Tang Clan is rapping about the fight. Like, this was high on my favorite games of the year. This was like number 4 for me, I think.
I played this game through with my friend Dom, and it was such a great experience for us that for my birthday he made me this Raphael keychain.
That's awesome.
Oh,
isn't that cool?
That's sick.
I actually played the game. He played as Raphael, and I played as April O'Neil, but he said April O'Neil was too hard to make into keychain.
Nice.
So yeah, but yeah, that game's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
It came out of nowhere for me. To be honest, I feel like a lot of those like throwback beat 'em ups, like they look really cool and they come out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's neat for like a level. But this one was like, just a really well thought out experience, I thought, and didn't outstay its welcome.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack, great look.
Mm-hmm. And playing it, like, I am tempted to pick it up on Switch to play through it solo at some point, just to like do all those like challenge modes they have.
Mm-hmm.
But playing it co-op made it like 9.5 out of 10 for me. It was incredible. I loved it so much.
Yeah. I had a really tough time when the game came out, and I asked like 5 people if they wanted to play and call with me, and everyone was dodging me. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta play with my brother," or whatever they said. And then it was like 2 months later, like I had my friend Dom here, and I just realized like, oh yeah, you like Turtles, and he doesn't even play games, but we were like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah,
and it was the best. Oh my god, what a great pizza sprite! Also, that pizza looks good.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. So,
congrats.
I like
Turtles. You guys like Turtles?
I like Turtles.
Yeah, turtle.
Right,
I used to have a turtle named Yertle the turtle.
Yo.
And it's still alive. I got it when I was in kindergarten. And
really?
It's my cousin gave it to me. And when my cousin had a child, I gave it to my cousin's child.
Wow.
And yeah, it's like older than I am.
When do you think that child is gonna give it to their child.
They're gonna give it back to my kid.
Okay, yeah.
This endless cycle.
Yes. Just like dropping another round. One more round, boys. Congrats to Fortnite.
Congrats.
I keep forgetting I'm not clicked on Google. Next one. Jack, read through this one.
Sure. This is the best game to play in one weekend. For the game that had us by the throat, needing to learn all its answers, endure its challenges, and see through it ASAP.
Jack, you got a prediction on what this one is?
Immortality is my thought.
Immortality is the winner.
Fuck yeah.
This one's fucking bullshit. Look, you work a 9 to 5. I work on weekends. I can't fucking play this on a weekend. Fuck you guys.
You can take
Not
2 days.
Possible.
It's a 2-day game, Omar. It's 2 days.
Okay, all right.
2 days.
I guess you got me. I'm out.
Yeah, Immortality is the winner here. Runner up, we had a tie, first tie so far, for Stray and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Second runner up award for Turtles, but yeah, Immortality. Jack, did you start playing it first? Is what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess technically I didn't play it on well, I did. I started it on a Thursday, thinking, you know what, I'll just, start off the end of my week here with this nice little game. I won't spoil it, but I played through maybe like 2 hours of that game and did not sleep the rest of the night, just because things happen in the game. And I played through the rest of that weekend, and I'm pretty sure I like 100%ed it, like got all the achievements by Sunday or Monday of that next week. So like this just really consumed my whole weekend. It is one of my favorite games of the year. It's very unique. It's something I want to revisit. I think I was mentioning to you, Christian, that I want this to come to PlayStation to get the platinum. I'm very curious what a second playthrough looks like for this game. But yeah, I highly encourage everyone who's listening to go play this game. It is on Netflix. I don't know how to access it. Netflix games, and it's also on Game Pass. So you can get it for the price of your subscription. So highly recommend.
I hear it is a good Steam Deck game as well, control wise. That's what I was listening to. I think MinMax, somebody said they played through it on Steam Deck and it was like a really good experience.
That's cool.
But yeah, because I remember you texted me, Jack, and I was curious about it. I had it installed, I think, on my Xbox, and I just didn't get around to it yet because I did hear people like hyping it up, and I was like, this seems like something that I could be interested in and like check it out. And when you texted me, I started it, and I was like, okay, because I think you texted me like, dude, I didn't sleep. You should look at this, and I did. So I was going into it with that in mind, and then I was like, the first hour, I was like, okay, there's a mystery here for sure. And then something happened, and I was also startled, and I put the controller down. I was like, I have to go. I have to stop. But I went to go like make dinner or something, and I was like, that's it for the night. I don't think I'm doing that again. But it was like in the back of my head, and I was like seeing it still, and I was like, I have to know if that's like a scary thing, if it's meant to be scary, or like if I can like get through this and be okay with what I saw happen. And I did, and then I just played it nonstop until I beat it throughout a weekend. Incredible game, one of my favorites of the year as well. With a very good message for games industry, I think, in terms of games being art. That's a thing people love talking about. I think the game has a very good perspective on that. But
can I ask, without spoilers? And I've only played the first 30 minutes of it. I need to get back to it. But this thing that shocked you so deeply, was it like hitting the rewind and seeing a black screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That shit was
It has
scary.
to do with the rewind mechanic.
Yeah.
All right.
Terrified me. Because
I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm going to do it soon.
Yeah, you got to do it. Got to do it.
Yeah. Owen is asking as well, is it good? Have it on Xbox, haven't played it. Yes. It's very good. And I know Owen appreciates a story game. I know he's a big Life is Strange fan, so very different vibes, but
yeah.
If you're going to a game for a story, you would appreciate it.
Almost as good as Plague's Tale.
Maybe not. I would say if you have a weekend and you want to try something that you're probably not super familiar with, or you want a very fresh experience, this definitely fills that void.
For sure.
And play it at night. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because that like gave me the kick in the ass to like actually get through, because I was like, I need to know if this is gonna haunt my dreams or if this is just really cool, and it was kind of both. But runner ups, Ninja Turtles, we already talked through a little bit. Again, I played in one sitting. That sounds like Omar did as well, maybe two.
Turtles?
Yeah.
Actually, it was like came over once, and then we played like half of it, and then we didn't get it together for like until 3 weeks later, and then we're like, yeah, okay, then we finished it.
Well, that's still two sessions. You can split that up. Still,
I agree with that. I agree with the spirit. Had it been the way I wanted it, it would have been the weekend. But yeah, no, for sure.
I feel. And
good short time game.
Stray, Jack, I believe you're the only person on the panel currently who has played Stray. I know Kevin was a big Stray speaker, speaker upper, hyper.
Yep.
He liked Stray.
Yeah, Stray's cool. I love Stray.
Stan.
Stray is one of my favorite games, and it's also my cat's favorite game of the year. So, gotta shout that out. But yeah, love Stray.
Nice. Was this a weekend for you?
Yes, I love how the game really respects your time with that. I'm a big short game guy these days. I really can't play long games unless I'm like really prepared for it, like God of War, for example. I just like don't have the time or like the capacity to do that. So Stray is like that perfect, like, I don't know, 5 to 8 hour game. And you can definitely break that out over the course of a weekend. So
very nice. Congrats to Immortality. Shout out to Stray and Turtles. Best music. For the OST filled with bops and bangers that heightened the experience of playing, leaving lasting memories and emotions with these tunes. The winner is God of War Ragnarok, runner-up Neon White. I have not played either of these games, so go off, you guys.
Do you want to talk about Neon White first, Omar?
I think you should talk about God of War Ragnarok first, to be honest.
And this is music?
Yes, best music.
Yeah. I think God of War definitely deserves this for sure. I think that sort of the music that they had from the first game, like that sort of theme now with the orchestral music and all the, like, I guess the monks or whatever chanting, returns and continues in this game. Kind of punctuated as like one of the great, I think, themes in PlayStation history. And yeah, we also get more Bear McCreary going off with Hosier in this game, which I think is really cool. I think it has one of the great like credit songs in recent memory. So that's kind of where that landed for me, and I voted for this, I think, as my number one choice.
Very nice. Omar, I think you put Neon White as number one, correct?
I did. Neon White is one of the greatest soundtracks in the history of the medium, and we fucked up. But it's okay.
I've only heard a little bit of Neon White. I've heard some God of War Ragnarok. I did like listen a little bit to both of these before I voted. And yeah, God of War Ragnarok, like the theme they played on the Game Awards. I went back and watched that. And I do like the main theme. I like the main nostalgia for the main theme of God of War, like the reboot, is that E3 2016 with the lady chanting. Like I think of that every time. But yeah, Neon White had like that weird. Some people compare it to like the Dreamcast a lot, like just Dreamcast vibes, and some of the music I was listening to definitely reminded me of like Sonic Adventure stuff in terms of just like the feel it had. Unfortunately, Omar, you are right. We did fuck up because Sonic Frontiers was only voted on by me, and that is a very good soundtrack. But
yeah, I'm sorry. That one song is really sick.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly,
congrats, Bear McCreary.
Congrats. I feel like overall though this year, music did not strike me in most of the games I played. Like Turtles had really good original music, in like the vocal tracks it had, but I can't really pull a lot of other music from this year.
I'm kind of with you on that. I remember 2020 had some incredible music.
Yeah.
Last year, I think I'm in a similar place to where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking of like Hades, like Final Fantasy, Last of Us Part 2, like even Ghost like games like yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, like even like Spider-Man Miles Morales or Animal Crossing, like man, that
Doom.
was a game for. First of all, what a great year for games, but
Yeah.
like that was a great year for music and games. And I think for this, like I really did like Ragnarok for its music for sure. But I think like I don't know, follow-ups for me were like Arceus, like the town music in that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. I can't really think of too many games with like incredible music from this year.
I think Arceus for music was either my number 1 or number 2, because the thing is with that game, almost, I don't know if it's all, but a good number of the tracks in there are like reorchestrations and rearrangements of songs from Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, because it's the same region, just like way further in the past, as the story told you, Jack. But they did like Jubilife Village is like Jubilife, I think city or town is in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and it's the same like melody. They just redid it to make it sound like it was with instruments of this like ancient civilization time. And like A Turn of Forest is in there as well, like the really nice piano. Like there's a lot of really cool rearrangements in there, as a huge fan of Gen 4. So that was also a very good one for me. But yeah, outside of that and Sonic, nothing really hit me this year.
Neon White is as good as the soundtracks of yesterday you guys are talking about. One of the best soundtracks of the past decade. You go to the fucking club, they play that Neon White soundtrack, you lose your mind. It's pretty sick. I'm asking for a recount, maybe reevaluation. We'll look at it at the end of the year. Thank you.
We will circle back to this in the following ceremony.
I won't forget this. I won't forget what happened today.
Next category. We'll go
hey,
back.
That's what I got. This is the fucking Blue Yeti. What?
Yeah.
How you get that?
For that reason, Omar, I'm going to throw it to you. Best podcast game. Let's go through this. What's up?
Okay. For the game that is good on its own, but gives us an excuse to enjoy it while listening to our favorite podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience.
What's the best, before we get the answer for the winner, what's the best game to pair with The Joe Rogan Experience?
Oh man.
God of War Ragnarok.
No.
No, because I've seen, like, I saw somebody on Twitter was like, look at this, he likes that game. And it was like, he was like, that's a game? That's gameplay? Yeah. I was like, okay, yeah.
You know, Joe Rogan's actually going to get really into that new Avatar game, probably, I bet.
Probably.
Generally, it's probably like Warzone 2.
You know, you're right. That's the answer.
That's what like the most people playing Warzone are probably listening to.
You're right. The winner is...
Fuck yeah, dude. Power Wash Simulator.
Power Wash Simulator is the winner of Best Podcast Game. Runner-up being Rogue Legacy 2. Power Wash Simulator, let's start there. What better time to listen to podcasts than doing yard work?
Did you guys play this fucking game?
Yeah, dude.
I played a little bit, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a whole joke. I didn't think anyone played it.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. Like, Power Wash Simulator is the ultimate, like, I want to play a video game and I don't want to think about what I'm doing, but I want to just, like, glide through the experience. That is Power Wash Simulator. Like, if you have a stack of podcasts and you're like, I need to, like, have a task associated with these podcasts or else I'm not going to listen to it, Power Wash Simulator. Like, you're done with all your chores, here's another chore of a video game. It's Power Wash Simulator. It's really it's just turn your brain off, do whatever you're doing. Like I would like have Red Sox games on in the background.
Ooh, that's good.
I listen to a lot of, and the Red Sox are not doing quite well this year.
No,
so.
they were not.
And then I also listen to a lot of the Friends Per Second podcast, which are like 2-hour long shows. So this game just like really ate into that, and it was great. This game's awesome. It's also in my top 10.
Is it on Game Pass or something?
It is on Game Pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Jack Owen asks if Kojima's podcast was in that stack.
Oh, I hate to admit, I listened to like a half of an episode of the Kojima podcast, and it didn't do it for me. I gotta probably get back into it, but it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that Muppets episode as my first one. I still haven't listened yet, but I feel like that is gonna be the one that makes or breaks it. Also, I missed this, but Owen said Metal Hellsinger was his favorite soundtrack, which was also good. I did play Metal Hellsinger, definitely a boomer shooter with music that's like, my dad loved metal and I made a game now, but that was impressive how they paired that up. But yeah, Power Wash Sim, I think I only played the first couple levels. Like I did the backyard listening to, I probably also listened to a Friends Per Second episode or like the Min Max show. Cleaning a backyard, I think I did too, because that took a long time.
Yeah.
And what killed it for me was eventually it got to a point where I was just like spamming the light up button that would like flash like where there was still dirt on like objects in the map, and that became the game for me. And I was like, I can't keep doing this. But then after that, I did clean a Steam engine with two of my friends. That was fun. But I get
Your
it.
friends are playing this too?
Yeah.
Did I miss this whole thing?
I think you did, man.
I didn't hear anyone talk about this game. I didn't even know it was real.
Yeah, published by Square Enix.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a Square Enix published game. Wow.
But
it's like the one simulator that's like genuinely very fun.
All right, I'll give it a try. I'm sold. I think I voted for it, to be honest.
Yeah, last time Kayla was here, I had her try it because she saw I was like editing something for Tech Raptor where Power Wash was like one of the nominees, and she was like, Power Wash Simulator? I was like, yeah, I'll download it. You want to try it? And she just played
I
it for like
voted
10
for
minutes.
it in your Tech Raptor poll.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, winner of.
I didn't think you guys played it. I thought it was
awesome. Very passionate about this game.
Yeah. That's cool. I believe it.
The runner-up, though, Omar, I know you played this because both of us voted for this category. Yeah. Rogue Legacy 2. Follow-up to Rogue Legacy, one of the most iconic rogue-like games, roguelite, maybe.
Yeah.
This is the second Rogue game that works for me. The first one was Hades. The second one was Rogue Legacy 2. And I put like 10 hours in, and then I put it down to move on to something else. But I really enjoy this, and I did listen to like 3 podcasts playing it. And I will definitely go back to this in the future. It's just hard. It was way harder than I expected it to be.
No, Rogue Legacy is really good. I've played a bit of the second one. To be honest, I've been like playing it on and off in that like weird early access period for like 3 years, so I kind of forget that it's really this year's thing. But the first one was great for podcasts. This one's pretty good for podcasts too. But to be honest, guys, I don't really listen to that many podcasts anymore these days.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
well,
Joe Rogan kind of got old for me. Yeah.
Congrats to Power Wash Simulator, winner of Best Podcast Game, sponsored by Joe Rogan. Best Indie Game.
Is that Shove Night?
No, it's Ukulele, I believe.
Is it really?
Yeah. For the best game made by an independent studio in 2022, the winner is Immortality. Runner-up Neon White. Once again, for an indie game, I know it's film. I know it is filmed. I know it is people on a set. That's different from making a video game. I know there's coding involved to make like the gameplay element, but the amount of detail in here, like the set design, the mise en scène, if you will, I was blown away by this and how it is all interactable in some degree. And I don't know Sam Barlow's past stuff. I haven't really checked out her story or the other thing he did, but his studio was like Half Mermaid. Is that what it's called?
What, really?
I think so.
How?
Well, I haven't played them. Is that what you're surprised by?
No, I'm sorry. I was making a bad joke about being half mermaid.
Didn't you see the 13th year on the Disney Channel? That's how it happened.
Kristen Stewart's in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, she's like drinking from a bubbler at one point. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
She's like 12 or something.
But she was also in Catch That Kid, I think.
Was she?
Yeah, I never saw that, but I did in reading time. I read the novelization of it in like 2nd grade.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, Immortality, best indie game. Jack, any other things to add on to Immortality here? This is the 2nd win for Immortality. First 2-time winner so far tonight.
Wow. Yeah, I'll add on to what you were saying. I was really impressed with like the camera technology used in this, or if they edited it to make it look like it was like a lot of the films, or two of them, were like in the 60s or like early 70s.
Yeah, that too.
And it looked like they used the technology they used back in those days. So I was just very impressed with that. Like, it looked like we were like sifting through footage from actual old film, and that was really, really impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this game's incredible. I can say so many good things about it.
I hate to say it, but I feel like with a game like this that acts so much like a film, I compare it to the films I see at the cinema. So this, next to Avatar 2, looks like complete shit. And I'm surprised it got this far.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, I'll play it. I really will. It sounds cool.
I really do think you like it. Like,
I think so. It looks awesome.
you might not vibe with everything, because I
Sure.
think that somebody could easily play through Immortality and like feel like it's pretentious, but I do think like everything it's doing artistically is earned. Personally, I have very little bad things to say about that game. None, I actually think. But yeah, just from a production standpoint, it blew me away. But the runner-up, Neon White, more
That's
traditional.
two-time
game.
runner-upper Neon White to you.
That's true. Two-time runner-up Neon White.
Yeah.
Talk about Neon White, Omar, overall as a game.
For best, well, honestly, this one is pretty crazy in terms of an indie game to me. In terms of what this guy made before this, he made his Ben Esposito. He made he's part of Arcane Kids, which would make a bunch of crazy like web games. One of them, my favorites of 2012, being Bubsy visits the James Turrell retrospective, which is a game where Bubsy goes to an art museum and dies. And then his next game after that was Donut County, which did any of you guys play that? Yeah,
I haven't.
great soundtrack. Pretty cool, like interactive, like almost like Katamari Telltale-esque kind of thing. It was neat. But then yeah, after that he made Neon White, which is like the hardest, like coolest shooter I've seen in like since the Doom games. That I'm shocked at the transition. I guess it was really good. I don't know.
Yeah, Neon White is the one regret I have for this year, for not getting to, because I feel like I would absolutely love it. It would probably be like in my top 3 if I played it.
Yeah, we're checking out soon. I know they just put out a PS5 version or something.
Okay.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Steve Bloom is the
Yeah,
is
dude,
is big in it. Yeah, it's got a crazy cast.
everything about it, and I know some people weren't hot on the story, but everything I saw in the story was like, yes.
Yeah.
Perfect cheese, like camp fluff. Give me all of it, over the top stuff. Like, I really wanted to check out Neon White. I feel very bad for not getting into it before we voted, but congrats.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Well, look at that. You didn't get to Immortality. I didn't get to Neon White. It works out.
Oh, never mind. Fuck this. This isn't fair.
Well, we'll see if that attitude changes with Game of the Year. We have made it to the top 10. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting out, number 10. We have a tie. There's 11 games on this damn top 10.
What?
The first game tied for 10th place is Horizon Forbidden West.
Damn.
Kevin's
Shouldn't
not
be on
here.
there.
He's the only
Shouldn't
person
be
who
on this
voted for
list.
it.
Jack, you didn't vote for it?
No,
Wow.
no, I did not. So it is on my top 10 games of the year simply because I played 10 games of the year. But we also had like a bunch of weird games on that I personally have put in on the list, like Fortnite, Zero Build, and stuff like that. That I voted for over Horizon. Played through it, platinumed it, don't like it.
So
Yeah.
to avoid dogging on the game that was represented by our friend who cannot be here tonight, we will move on to the other game that tied for 10th. Bayonetta 3.
You guys think this game is as bad as fucking Horizon? Fuck you guys. I'm
Hey,
out.
that's the 10th best game of the year.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Bayonetta 3 is great. Thank you. Anyone else vote for this other than me? No?
I didn't play it.
I haven't
All
either.
right. Yeah. No. It's a bit shaky, but you know what? It's a great game. I liked it a lot.
Well, you know, I feel like that's what number 10 is for, right? Like
Yeah.
10 is, depending on the group, it's like 10's always going to be different, you know?
Yeah.
So we get represented Kevin and Omar at 10. And at number 9, we represent apparently just Christian Buckley, because 9th place is fucking Elden Ring.
Whoa. Oh my goodness. What, did you guys... surely you guys voted for this.
I voted for Elden Ring, yeah.
Shit. I don't know, man. Sometimes I think I played this game. I platinum this game. I think a lot of the boss fights are great, but like I just had such a weird reaction to it, and maybe it was just how I was feeling at the time. I'm gonna revisit it at some point, but to me, it wasn't as good as Dark Souls, and that might as well just meant fuck that game forever. But obviously, it's very good. But yeah, sorry, Christian, I couldn't vote for it. I don't know.
So how it shook out, I put the way the math works on this. I put it at number 1 on the voting. This was my number 1 pick, and that's the only reason it's here and not down with Horizon and Bayonetta.
Wow. So, wow, Omar didn't even vote for it at all.
No.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, it's understandable though, because I understand. Like we did a whole like 2-hour debrief on Elden Ring, and it's not my favorite From Software game. Like, out of the 4 I played, it's 4th. But like, it's still, in my opinion, I think better than like almost anything else in this space of game, like AAA. It's just doing things that I think other things are going to be copying forever. It's like what Skyrim did, where it's like, hey, every game has that compass. Every game is like open like this now because of Skyrim. And that got old eventually, and I'm sure Elden Ring will as well. But I didn't love the open like zone stuff here. It was my least favorite part of the game, but it was still like, it was downtime in between those intense dungeons. So like I appreciate it on that level. And the dedicated dungeons are phenomenal. Like if you stripped out the open world and it was just the dungeons, like all the demigods domains, like back to back to back.
The legacy dungeons, is that what they call
I
them?
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Stormvale Castle, Volcano Manor, the Mountain of the Giants or whatever it's called. Like if you just lay all those out in a semi-linear world like a Dark Souls, I think this game would easily be like 10 out of 10 and probably at least tied with like Bloodborne as my second favorite, because I think the designs they have in here, the bosses are phenomenal. Music isn't that great, unfortunately, but
some of it is.
Some of it is. Some of it is really great.
Some of it's very good. That title theme is pretty good.
And when it comes back,
yeah,
incredible.
Some of that music is also bad though.
Yeah. Jack, what were you saying?
I was gonna say I saw Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny reference what you were mentioning, like that the music coming back during like a certain boss fight, and yeah, that's cool. I get the hankering to play this game, to replay it, because I put like 3 hours into it. I'm like, no, this is the most like overwhelming experience I've ever had. So maybe one day I'll go back and just make like a really OP build and try to make it really easy for myself.
Jack, I can write down exactly what I did, and you will probably have a great time.
Okay.
Because I did use a cheese build kind of at the time. It was the Bloodhound Fang bleed builds were overpowered at the beginning of the game. I did a Dex build with the Bloodhound Fang, and as soon as I got the Mimic, I was using it on like every other boss fight. So makes the game easier, but I think that was intentional. I think that they really designed a lot of the bosses around like you being able to break it. Break it. So
I'll say too, like, I don't know, I was like, we were talking about like best boss fights, and like there's like 20 incredible boss fights in this game.
Yeah, and I can't say that about most From Software games. I feel like the ones I played, at least half are kind of stinkers. Sekiro's the only one that I feel like almost all of them are killer that I played.
Sure.
I thought you were gonna come in there. Sorry, but
what? No, I was gonna kind of come in there. I just started thinking. I don't know. Just like everything around it was kind of what dampened it for me.
Sure.
But yeah, there's an incredible linear game here called Dark Souls 4 probably that someone at some point will make a mod.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like I said, least favorite FromSoft game that I played, it's still like a 9 though, and I think the best game of the year. Not my favorite game of the year, but I think the best one I played pretty clearly. 8th place, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. over Elden
This game's
Ring.
awesome. I
It's
thought this game
good.
was sick. Yeah.
It's good. It's kind of broken, but I did like it a lot. Omar, you beat it recently, right?
Yeah, it's the first Pokemon game I played since Sword and Shield. So I'm not comparing it to Arceus because I haven't played it yet. Forgive me. But yeah, no, I just thought it was like a really fun and good story. And yeah, it looks like ass most of the time, but it didn't. I didn't personally encounter any bugs, but I did play after that first patch. But it did always look bad, but nothing broke. But yeah, I don't know. That Pokemon, you get a motorcycle Pokemon thing, that was cool.
Yeah. I think for me, the playing experience of this, because I did play Arceus earlier in the year, I think a lot of that, like, I can't believe this is a Pokemon game that I'm playing, was in Arceus, where you were, like, riding on things, gliding around in an open area, like, manually throwing the Pokeball. I did all that in January, so it, like, wasn't as magical here, but the true open nature of this one is really great. I want to see Mainline continue on this path. I think this is an incredible template for them to move forward with. I think this is hands down the best story in a Pokemon game ever. I feel pretty confident in that. It is the best like campaign written character party based Pokemon story that I've ever seen.
I cried in the ending the same way I would cry watching the third Pokemon movie about Entei.
Yeah, dude.
When I was younger. That shit's crazy.
There's some surprisingly emotional stuff in this game.
And the characters are like legit really good. I fucking love Arden. Is that his Arvin?
Arvin,
That's
yeah.
his name.
Great character.
Arvin's sick. Your nemesis, fucking the
Nimona, loved her.
Nimona, the professor, the son of the professor, well he's great too. But the director of the school,
of the academy.
Clive. Yeah, he's sick. It had like a memorable story and characters in a way that I can't tell you anything about Sword and Shield. Like or even Sun and Moon, to be honest. This one just kind of got its hooks in me.
Yeah, and I also love the implementation of the legendary here, where Jack, you know this. Every single Pokemon game that you've played, hey kid, you're just some kid. Go on an adventure. There's a legendary Pokemon. Only you can be the one who stops it. Like this game, and that's like at the end of every Pokemon game. This one, you get the motorcycle Pokemon, I think maybe before you get your starter or like on the way on that road.
Yeah.
And it's just like damaged, and you're basically playing the whole game like helping it heal. It's like mental trauma.
It's a Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's like a really impressive way to implement the legendary. Story's incredible. Performance sucks ass, but this is a really special game.
I thought that Pokemon did a great job.
Yeah. I was talking about just like overall, not the Pokemon's performance.
I forgot to mention Team Star, also sick.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only downside of the open world for me was it wasn't really open because like there was no level scaling. It was like if you want to go south to this gym, it's still level 50s and you have 20s.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want level scaling. I like the idea of finding like I deliberately didn't look at a guide to play that game.
I mean, they number the things, don't they?
What's that?
Don't they number them in the game?
They number them after you get there, and then.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I think it's your order you got them in, but like, yeah, I mean, I have a story about the way I got like my ass whipped by the Fire Team Star leader because I guess I wasn't supposed to go there, but that's what I did, and it was sick. I grinded and through the Game Awards until I was good enough to beat that leader, I guess.
Nice.
But I don't know.
7th place. Sifu.
Ooh.
This is a Jack pick, I believe. Jack and Kevin voted on this one, I think.
Yeah. Sifu was a game I almost put down forever. I played maybe 2 sessions of it. It was really difficult. And then I just powered through and like finally like I started to understand it. And it's a game that you really have to take a lot of time learning because it can really kick your ass at a lot of points. But once you get it, it's so fun and very rewarding. Like studying the levels. There's no like checkpointing system really. Like if you want to maintain your age, you have to basically do everything perfectly from one level to the next. and it's really fantastic. I like the bosses in here. If I really thought about it, I think I probably should have nominated one of the bosses from this game for our list. But yeah, it's a really unique game. Enjoyed it a lot. One of the games I put a lot of time into at the beginning of the year. So yeah, this was really fun.
Nice. Yeah, this is one I want to check out at some point. I was thrown off when it came out because like I wasn't. It looked like the punches were weak, and apparently that is very wrong. But I don't think it showed super well beforehand. But everything I've heard of this, I do want to check it out eventually. So, congrats to Sifu. Omar, you didn't play this, right?
I didn't play Sifu. I kind of want to. Is it on Game Pass?
Not yet. I don't think it's on Xbox at all.
Yeah, it's only
Is
on
it? What?
PlayStation.
No, it's on Switch as well.
And PC.
It is
But
also
it's
on Switch now.
Huh.
I'm
Is
pretty
it
sure.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it looks terrible, but
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I remember them showing that off. It
Yeah.
was bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can play hard games like that.
Dude, they made an easy mode patch.
They did
Oh,
do
did
that.
they?
And I would highly recommend it because I made it all the way. I beat the game, and I also made it all the way to the end with having like not aging, which is really difficult. And I couldn't beat the last boss fight to get. There's a trophy of like beating the last boss fight under age 25, and I just could not do it. And then one day they made the easy patch. I turned the game to easy mode, and I did it like in like one try.
Damn.
So I would highly recommend playing it on easy mode.
All right.
Nice. 6th place in our top 10, Stray. This is another Jack on the panel. You played this one. Any other words to say about Stray?
Stray's great. I don't think it really. I think a lot of people were expecting too much from this game, and I went into it just expecting a really fun cat game, and that's exactly what it is. Great cat simulator, a fun, cute story. You're gonna have a great time if you're a cat person. If you're not, you're still probably gonna have a good time. It's easy. There's like no challenge in terms of platforming or whatever. So I think if you go in terms of the expectations of you're gonna play this pretty quick game, you can explore a couple different levels and talk to some robot people who have some funny lines here and there, and kind of just get up to cat hijinks. You're gonna have a good time.
Very nice. Owen says Stray clears in the chat. But you're right, Jack. A lot of people had a very strong reaction to this. Got nominated for the Game Awards, GOTY.
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are you surprised at all with the placement here? Where did you rank it? Do you remember?
Well, I'm certainly surprised it's above Elden Ring.
Oh, me too.
That's very interesting. I would have expected this maybe towards the end of the list, but I think this is Kevin and I who had this. This was, I think, towards the middle of my list. Like, I think it's maybe number 4 for me. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's like this incredible, like awe-inspiring video game, but it's a really great time. I do want to get back to it at some point.
Omar,
Yeah, I just got PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever, so maybe I might play this fucking cat game. I heard it's good. It looks cute. I like a cat. I don't know.
Very nice. Well, congrats to Stray, 6th place on the 10. 5th place, though, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I don't know how much more I can add to this game, except it's pretty great. And I'm not a beat 'em up person, really. I played Scott Pilgrim, and I loved that. And then this is the second one that worked for me. So this is great. If you're a Turtle fan in any capacity of your life, specifically those of the Ninja Mutant variety, it's probably worth playing, even if this like specific iconic version, like the 80s Turtles, don't speak to you. They don't for me. This game is still awesome and worth checking out, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Great game. 4th place, Neon White.
Cool. I was hoping for number 1, but it's all right. 4's not bad. I'm gonna have to talk to Kevin. I thought we were gonna push it to number 1, but it's okay.
I can look at afterwards if you want. I can send you screenshots of where Neon White was voted by people. So
I don't even want to know.
okay,
It's over.
Okay, this is
classic.
I think the one hangover from 2022 that I do want to get to. Like this is the one that I'm like I'm still gonna get that. I can't say that about everything that we've talked about that I haven't played, but Any other stuff you want to say on Neon White and its placement, GOTY?
I just think it's a really good game. I don't know. I think it might be my favorite game in a long time, but it's all right. It's all right. I'm glad it's here at all. I suppose I should be grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
It sounds like it.
Third place, Immortality. Fuck yeah. This is higher than I thought it would get, but I'm glad. This is my third on my personal ranking.
Nice.
So
this is my 2.
Nice.
So did anyone else? It was just us.
It was just us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the combined, both of us having it that high is what got it here. I'm curious how the math works out. I know there's only 4 of us voting, so like there's only a set number of ways the numbers can go. But yeah, I'm glad it got upper echelon here. I can't say much else without like spoiling everything about this game, but I'm gonna remember Immortality probably for a very, very long time.
For Immortality?
No, because I'm immortal. I'm immortal, not immortal.
Yeah. Wow. Immortalized in pop culture.
Fair enough.
Without spoiling, Christian, did you choose this screen image because you rewound? Wasn't this your first one?
This is the one that scared me the most, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
No, because there's 2 things. There's the first one that happens when you're like messing with the timeline at one point, and then you see something, and then there's when you're just hanging out, and then it's like, and then that one. And this might be the second time that happened to me, because the first time it happened, I think I just closed it because I was scared. The second time was like, this is the one I was like, I paused and I was like, I gotta keep going a little bit to see. I'm going like very slowly, and I'm like I feel like something's gonna jump. Like, yeah, this you are very apt to point that out. That is a very good observation.
Oh God, there's some great ones in this, man. Can't spoil it. Go play it.
Oh yeah,
great game.
Top 2, Silver and Gold. Elden Ring's down at 9th, so what could these be? Any guesses
I can't even think
of what number 2 is?
I think 2 is Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You would be correct. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the second game on this top 10. This was my personal number 1. I voted at number 2 for this. But Jack, talk a little about Legends Arceus. This was a big game for both of us earlier in the year, but what do you think of it?
Yeah. So as some of you might know, Christian and I have that Pokemon podcast, my first Mon. Didn't play a Pokemon game till 2019, and I played Blue, and then I went to Crystal, and then I went to Emerald, and this was my first like modern Pokemon game, and what a breath of fresh air it was. Like, I think not just for me, but also for really anyone who's like a Pokemon fan. A lot of new mechanics that are completely brand new to Pokemon, and some things that I was catching up on that have already been in the series forever because I've only played the first 3 gens. So it was like such a massive improvement in terms of just user being like really user friendly, but also just the open environments, being able to like the whole hook of the game is to capture Pokemon, and it's like barely even to battle them, although that's a mechanic. It's mostly just going around the levels and collecting Pokemon and filling out your Pokedex. Great vibes. I think it's like probably the best vibe game this year. And yeah, really enjoyed my time with it. It's my number 3 behind Immortality at number 2. So really enjoyed this one. And you obviously preferred this over the new Pokemon games.
Yes, because I think while Scarlet and Violet is like a really good template to move forward with for the mainline stuff, like traditional gyms and stuff like that. And I think the story is better in Scarlet, but like the premise here is I think a really strong hook, and then seeing how that evolves, seeing how you basically, very light spoilers, like stop a very cataclysmic event. I think the story is really fun. As somebody who was disappointed with the Gen 4 remakes, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, this sort of like healed me on that. I was like, oh, this is like a really nice way to revisit Sinnoh and the Pokemon and some of the characters from Gen 4. and it had the vibe of like a game I loved as a kid. There was a Pokemon RPG on GameCube that was absolutely a spin-off, but it was a full-blown like 3D Pokemon RPG. It wasn't like you can catch everything like you could in a Pokemon game. Pokemon Coliseum, love that game. This is similar to that in like where I keep it in my mind of like it's a weird vibe. It's going for something different. Um, Pokemon has not really done that lately on this scale for a long time, and it was just I felt so reinvigorated with this franchise that I've played my entire life because of this game. Um, so yeah, I love Legends Arceus. I hope they continue Legends as a series. I honestly, I'd even be still excited if they announced DLC for this game because I popped into it again a couple nights ago and I've been playing it pretty much every night doing post game stuff to like be able to confront Arceus, and it's still great. I love it so much. Easily my favorite game this year. So surprised it made it this high, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah. Omar, did you play this?
No, I think it came out in, was it a year ago now, or January sometime?
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember, but this was the month that I got really From Software pilled, and I spent like 200 hours just playing From Software games.
True.
And I just never found a time to jump back into it. I'd like to though. I really would. I'm hoping to soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think Scarlet and Violet made me like enjoy Pokemon again in a way I haven't in a long time. So I think I'm more open to checking it out now.
Yeah.
It sounds good. You guys liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's a great like casual game.
Cool.
Plus, I think it positions how you view Pokemon and like the systems in a new way too, because like the whole like catch 'em all thing has never really been relevant to the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in here, it's like, well, you're creating like the first ever Pokedex for this region. And it's very easy to catch a Pokemon. You can just like, without even going to a battle transition, you can just be running, poop, throw a Ultra Ball, and then you got somebody,
Yeah.
and then you're doing that all the time. Like I've caught like a percentage-wise more of the Pokedex in this game than I have in any other game. And it's like way more streamlined to do that. So, and they give you like a bunch of different objectives to be able to complete the Pokedex. It's like really, really good. So.
No,
Yeah. And like there's such a great level of progression as well. Like you go out into the field and then you come back and you get like so many different things that are checked off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's great. I thought you were saying, Christian, before the show that like it's kind of a weird list. I thought this was gonna be number one.
I did for a bit as well.
Sneak in.
And if you're curious, it came down to 2 points between this and number one.
Wow.
Yeah. And even if I put this at my number one, which is like my ranking my favorites instead of Elden Ring, it's like those two are swapped for like best versus favorite for me. It would have been a 1 point difference, so it still would not have won if I put it number one. Number one though, God of War Ragnarok. Kevin cannot speak to this, so Jack, go ahead.
I imagine Kevin and I put this as our number ones, and
Yes.
that's how it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, all right, I know Kevin's gonna put this is his number one, and well, I am too. So that it seems like it's probably the one. But yeah, it's a really great game. I think I do prefer the first one at the end of the day. I think there are some definite pacing issues with Ragnarok. Christian, you and I were talking about the pacing issues of Last of Us Part 2. And this just seems to follow in like these two games really kind of follow The Last of Us in a lot of ways. It includes the pacing issues, but I think it's a very heartfelt. What's that?
I said in the framework. Sorry to cut you off.
No, they absolutely do. There's a lot of similarities, but I think it's a very heartfelt story. I think that's my takeaway from this game. The combat is still excellent. It builds on 2018's, which I think in terms of like those big PlayStation first parties, I kind of feel like God of War has the best combat and the best gameplay. Like I'm a big Last of Us guy, but comparing those two in terms of gameplay level, I think God of War and God of War Ragnarok like really blow that series out of the water. And yeah, it was just a great overall experience, and it's something I want to check out again once there's a new game plus. And I've gotten stale to like these sort of big budget like third person action games recently, but this one kind of there was enough surprises in this game that kept me going. Finding a lot of new stuff, there was like a whole section that took me like 7 hours that you can completely miss, and like I spent a whole afternoon and evening just going through that and clearing it all out. So there's a lot in this game that they didn't really tell you before playing it. So it was great to sort of discover that along the way. So yeah, love this game.
Is that the crater?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that. I just heard about it today.
Yeah, it's
Like,
massive.
whoa.
It's like you go to do one small thing, and you end up spending so much time there.
Damn.
So, congratulations, God of War Ragnarok. Elmar, you played this. Do you have anything you want to add in there?
Didn't make my fucking list. I'll tell you that.
But yeah, I think the math worked out but behind God of War and Pokemon, I think it was a pretty decent gap for immortality, and then everything else was kind of very closely tied. I don't know if I still have the numbers written down on my notes app, but yeah, it was pretty close. Like, it was a pretty clear voting thing of like, outside of the 2 games that were tied at 10th, it was a pretty natural progression, and then a solid jump for the top 2. So very smooth process this year. God of War Ragnarok joins last year's GOTY. I think we gave it to Metroid Dread. Before that, it was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we never did one for 2019, but the honorary 2019 Game of the Year award Kevin and I decided was Resident Evil 2 Remake. So God of War Ragnarok is joining those ranks.
It's not the last time we'll be talking about that game.
No, it's not.
So, about Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, we got a special award category.
Yeah.
Oh, for this today?
Yeah.
Oh, we still got more slides?
Just a couple. Just a couple.
No, I'm so sorry. My laptop battery's about to die. Let me get a charger. Okay. You guys talk on. I'm sorry.
Cool.
Bear McCreary.
What was Omar's number 1 choice?
I think it was Neon White.
Oh, yeah. All right. For Omar, I gotta check that game out. I think the card system is like what?
That was it too.
Wary about that.
The card system is very much they just, instead of like seeing a gun model on your screen, you just see a card. So instead of getting an AK model, it's just a thing that says like AK basically. But they do that because you're going so fast in the game, you need to swap like your weapon sometimes for readability. It's not necessarily a card system, just like icons, I guess. I would say.
Yeah, that threw me off too, Jack. I was like, I wrote it off so quick when I saw the cards, and then Kevin was like, "No, it's like that's not it." So, I do want to get to it.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. Like hearing Omar talk about it and hearing a lot of people talk about it actually. So, that's one I'll put on the back burner.
Yeah. Plus, I got big. This happened a couple years ago when I started going with the Crash Bandicoot Platinums. For some reason, I now get a 6 satisfaction out of speedrunning levels for games. Because you had to do that for the Crash Platinum. I S-ranked every single level in Sonic Frontiers, and that is completely unnecessary for the Platinum. You need to get 1. There's at least 30 levels in that game.
Oh my god.
I S-ranked all of them because it's satisfying, and that's what this whole game is. If you want it to be. I was listening to the Kind of Funny one today, and I think Blessing Your Andy said like it's like a 6-hour game roughly if you want it to be, and then you can just get like addicted to running it and perfecting it. So
is this Neon White?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. I try not to spend too much time playing a game, but this one I'm just like repeating levels all the time, just trying to get the best scores.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
Damn. Yeah, I mean 6-hour game sounds great to me.
Yeah,
so sure. I'm definitely down to check that out.
If you play it, Jack, text me. I'm curious how you like it.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, you're gonna play on PS5, right?
Yep.
Okay. I was gonna say like, I'd love to see your leaderboard times, but I'm on Steam.
True.
But
well, a couple fun little categories to wrap up the evening. Also, shout out to Owen said Plague Tale AC's number 1, and shout out to Ghostwire Tokyo, which respect for riding or dying with Tango Gameworks.
I need to play that. I want to play Ghostwire Tokyo. I do.
It's gonna be on Game Pass in like a month, probably.
That's the thing. I'll play it. I want to check it out. I almost bought it during Steam, but the Steam sale, but I didn't.
I also had a grand plan to play the Plague Tale games and just never did it. Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna play the first one, and then I was gonna, to get ready for the new one.
30
And I
frames
was like,
though.
it's on Game Pass, but just never did.
My problem, I want to play those games too, but like, I think it's just the subject matter sounds so dour that I can never bring myself to do it. But I believe Owen.
I believe Owen
But-
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny. I think that one for the MinMax show, they all voted that the best game that none of us played, but we all probably agree is like good, which I think is a fun category. But speaking of fun categories, personal picks, we kind of talked through that as we went along, highlighted what our number ones were. But if you would like to shout out like a top 3, top 5, or blitz a top 10, feel free. This is the time to do so. If you have that prepared.
I do have my GG list.
Nice. I'll pull mine up too.
So
This is for games that came out this year.
Yeah, this is specifically favorites for 2022.
Okay.
Jack, why don't you hit us with it?
So my GG list is probably like my definitive one. I had some weird picks on the Joyclicks one. We had like a Wordle on there.
Yeah.
I alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess I didn't really think of that. So these are like my final picks. So Horizon Forbidden West is my number 10. Great looking game, just don't like it. And then Power Wash Simulator was number 9. As Dust Falls was number 8. That was a fun little game. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was number 7. Sifu was 6. Tunic was 5. Stray was 4. Arceus was 3. Immortality was 2. And then God of War Ragnarok was number 1.
Omar, do you have yours pulled up, or do you want me to go?
Sure. I do. I mean, I don't really have. I have a top 3. I didn't really play many games that came
Sure,
out this
go
year, to
for
be
it.
honest. Or didn't finish any. But I think my number 1 was Neon White, which I really love. Then my number 2, I honestly really love Bayonetta 3. It's like a big mess of a game, but it's like it goes for some shit that's so crazy that I just really admire. And if you're gonna play Bayonetta, I recommend starting with 1 or 2 though, and not 3 probably. But it is great. And then my third was Turtles, probably. Oh, or Pokemon Violet. I don't know. 3. That's my top 4. Those are the 4 games I beat.
Nice.
But they're all tremendous.
10th for me is Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. That is the best Bungie campaign I've ever played. I still have to play Halo Reach, but I doubt it can top it. I absolutely adored every second of that campaign. 9th, similar to Omar, you're like, this probably isn't good, but I did like it a lot with Bayonetta. Mario Strikers Battle League. It's a solid.
No, I didn't say that.
It's the foundation of that game is great.
Okay.
It is content light. There's really nothing outside of playing cups, and the multiplayer is borked. You can only do 2v2 online. It sucks, but that game is like technically great. 8th is Rogue Legacy 2. 7 for me is Marvel Snap. 6 is Pokemon Scarlet. 5th place goes to Sonic Frontiers. 4th is TMNT Shredder's Revenge. 3 is Immortality. 2nd place is Elden Ring, and number 1 is Pokemon Legends Arceus. So those are my 10. That I stepped on, and it was an elevator, and it was going and going and going and going, and I was like, this is a long loading screen. And then I was like, it kept going, and I was like, wait, this isn't a loading screen. This is like the map just going this far down underground, because there is this massive celestial city underneath like an entire region of Elden Ring. And it blew my mind. I was like, I should not be here. I am like a level 10. I should not be in this place. But it was mind blowing. And that was like the moment that like clicked for me of like how massive this game is. Also discovering the shtick in Immortality. That's my runner up. So best moments. Anyone you shout out?
I like the Elden Ring moment a lot too. Didn't even know about it until you texted me to check it out. I remember that. That was cool. I think Bayonetta 3 is a game full of moments, if nothing else. And there's a really great one where it's like a boss fight, and then like halfway through it just becomes like a straight up rhythm game that I enjoyed a lot. And it's very much like it's very girly in a cool way. I appreciated it. Yeah. And I think it says a lot about how chill Bayonetta fans are, that they don't mind their games mashing up crazy genres like that. It was neat. And yeah, that's probably it for me. Those are my two.
Jack?
I agree with you, Christian. I think for standout moments, it is kind of figuring out what the actual game of Immortality is about, like what you're actually really trying to do in that game. I think that really surprised me, and it takes a little bit, and it can take a really long time for people to even figure that out, which I think is very interesting. Like, you could probably play through most of that game without even figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I think it took me a couple hours to get to. And once I did, like, I was solely focused on that portion of the game for the most part. And I don't think I've quite really experienced anything in games quite like that. So that's it for me.
Nice. I will, Jack, I think you'll probably appreciate this also, but like the first time you physically throw a Pokeball or like throw a Pokemon out, like that's something that people have been wanting out of a Pokemon game. The series is what, 25 now? 25 years people have wanted that. So being able to do the first time, that was a moment.
And it feels great too, just to throw that Pokeball and like that sound. Everything's great about it.
And the last category of the 2022 Joy Clicks Awards, we have the Jack Martin Best Game We Played in 2022 that did not release in 2022 award. This is a personal reward for, you guessed it, the best game you played this year that did not release this year. Jack, what's the deal with this? Is this like a first-time playthrough? Is this a replay? What are you looking at?
I'm going to say you can take it at however you'd like. But I would say, for me, I view it as a game that I haven't played, but I've played for the first time in that particular year, and it meant a lot to me that year. So my pick for this, I could pick a bunch. They're all like really old games.
Shout some out if you want.
Sure. Super Mario 64. I'll shout out that. Never played it, and it completely blew my mind. I like literally played through it in like 2 days and did 120-star run of it. It was awesome. What else? I will say Resident Evil 4 is like my runner-up, and like I could have chose that, and I probably still could. But my number one choice is Resident Evil 2 Remake. I really tried to play the Resident Evil 1 like sort of GameCube remake that is on PS4, and I couldn't play it. Like, I found a lot of difficulty with the tank controls. I was trying to play through all the Resident Evil games before Village, and like I just couldn't. And eventually I just decided to play Remake of Resident Evil 2, and I was astounded by it. Absolutely loved it. The vibes are great. Going through the police station, I played as Leon for the first time. I actually really enjoyed the controls. It was really scary, which I thought was great, but it was also cheesy in the best possible way. And it really introduced me to that series. So I played through Resident Evil 3 Remake and then 4 now, and I'm so hyped for 4 Remake. So yeah, it's one of the few games that really introduced me to not only the Resident Evil series, but also like the horror genre, which I'm not really familiar with in terms of gaming. So yeah, absolutely love that game. That's like probably my game experience of the year.
That's awesome. Mine's pretty obvious to me. I'll shout out. I think inarguable the best video game I played this year, I think, is Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm not going to count that one. That's my second time through that game. It might be my new favorite of all time. It's up there. It's like top 3. It's incredible. I love that game so much. But game I played for the first time this year that really blew me away was a 10 out of 10 experience the whole way through. I put like 98 hours into it. It's like right at 100, and I'm so close to the platinum. But Nier Replicant V1.22 whatever. It's the half remake of the original Nier game. I tried playing Nier Automata, a demo of it a long time ago, and I did not like it at all. And this was like 2017 or 2018, like the year it came out, or like roughly around when it came out, and I heard all the hype around it, and I just did not like the demo. But I got Nier Replicant on a whim this year, and it was like the first half of my summer, and the second half was Red Dead, and Nier blew me away. I saw every ending. I am like 2 trophies away from the platinum, but it is farming hell to get the platinum, so I'll go back to it eventually, and I am very excited to play Automata at some point. I even downloaded the damn like mobile game spinoff because the story blew me away in a way that I really haven't experienced outside of like Metal Gear personally. So yeah, I loved Nier Replicant so much. And then a special shout out to Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. It is a remake of Fire Emblem 2, I think. I played that on my 3DS this year. Fantastic game. One of my favorite Fire Emblems that I've played easily. So also Dark Souls. I played Dark Souls. I played it twice this year, and the second time gave me a way larger appreciation for that game. So
nice.
Omar.
Yeah, my favorite game that came out a long time ago that I played this year was that Dark Souls game.
Yeah,
it's really good. That's like one, if not my favorite game of all time. It's up there, right next to Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm a big fan of that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I got. I also played 13 Sentinels, which I thought was kind of dumb. I was disappointed. Everyone told me that game was going to blow my mind, but it didn't.
You gave me a copy of it. Should I not play it?
You should check. I want you to check it out. I'm curious what you think of it. I think you might really like. Okay, I'm being hard on it, but it's got a really crazy first few hours that I think you should check out and see if you want to stick with it or not.
Cool.
But yeah, it's very much like influenced by like 80s sci-fi, and I think if you're familiar with that stuff in the way that honestly I was reading it all. I knew where it was going, but I don't know. But yeah, Dark Souls, that game's awesome. I also played Dark Souls 2, which is also tremendous. And yeah, fuck you. and Bloodborne, which is also really good. That Bloodborne DLC, even better. Did I play anything else? Oh no, I guess then it was Elden Ring, which was this year.
Nice.
But yeah.
Well, I'm sure Kevin's answer would be Kingdom Hearts 2 because he played that this year for the first time, and that is an indisputable winner. So, that is the 2022 Joyclicks Awards. That is another year. A quick recap: the top 10. Tied for 10th was Horizon Forbidden West and Bayonetta 3. 9th place was Elden Ring. 8th was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. 7th was Sifu. 6th is Stray. 5 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. 4th is Neon White. 3rd place is Immortality. 2nd place is Pokemon Legends Arceus. And Game of the Year is God of War Ragnarok. Congrats to all the winners of all the other categories as well. That is the Joyclicks Awards 2022. We will do, I'm sure, another system come 2023 after this massive year of games. So closing words, final thoughts, where can people find you? Thank you both for joining tonight. Jack, we'll start with you. Let's hear it.
Sure. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at FascinatedJack. This game this year I think was a lot better than last year for games. Really enjoyed a lot more. I played a lot more. I played very few games last year, so new games specifically. So yeah, it was a great time. I think this year's gonna be even crazier. So looking forward to it.
Very nice. Omar, what's up?
Yeah. Closing thoughts. Neon White is really great. I thought is really worth checking out. If you don't like that story, you can start skipping through it, but you can also read it. It's cool. But the gameplay and the soundtrack, too good. Where to find me? Hive. I'm on Hive.
Nice.
I'm almost a chef on Hive. Is anyone still using Hive?
I have it downloaded still.
Yeah. Okay. It seems like it went sideways when they like stole everyone's, or like didn't they like there was some exploit or some security shit? I don't know.
They shut it down to prevent something. They were like, nothing happened yet, but we're doing this preemptively, and then they shut it down for like 2 weeks.
And that just killed it.
That kind of killed it. I wanted to come back though. I do like the interface a decent amount as a replacement for Twitter, but maybe in a few months. You can find me Twitter and TikTok at Shuntd2. Here on Joyclicks, what we got going on is the weekly episodes of Excelsior with me and Jack. We are pivoting to Marvel podcast, Marvel Universe podcast, not Marvel's Avengers. That game is dead in the water these days. So look forward to episodes on the weekends. Joyclicks in general, you can check out Jedi Knights on podcast services. Gamescast is still on hiatus, still trying to figure out the scheduling, but with Kevin for that. Within that in mind, also in the near future, Hologame, we are behind on one. It's gonna happen. 85% chance it's this month, and then we'll be back on with March. So look forward to that. The three of us are also figuring out scheduling to finish off the Batman Arkham Long Play Club. So Batman Arkham Origins, I have full control to just devour that game now that the planning of the end of the year stuff has been wrapped up at this point. So that will be out in the near future. Got to record that, and that I think is everything. So thank you for tuning in. Shout out Owen for hanging out in the chat. Shout out to your faves. And we will be back in the future. But until then, once again, Happy New Year. And thank you for tuning in. 2023 is going to be a great gaming year and hopefully a great content one as well. So, we'll see you later.